podcast. It is me, Sal, MrBoxingguru. Again, that intro that you guys just heard, I know you guys missed it, was from Los Anaya. That's Los space Anaya. That's Los Anaya, straight out of Texas. Good kids. Make sure you guys listen to them on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, and wherever great music is heard. Guys, it's been a busy month. Again, I was gone for a month, not in jail. You guys still saw me on social media and whatnot. So I am there. I have been there, and just moving. I moved to a new place. I finally settled down, put the podcast together, caught up on a couple of fights that I needed to catch up on, and we're here to go. So again, we're just gonna brush through a couple of fights because I think it's fair. Just kind of revisit the month and see where it takes us. Again, everything is no notes, no nothing. Let's just talk about it. I remember the last fight that I was gonna preview before I took my little break was a Spence Porter fight, so it's only fair that we start there. Spence versus Porter at what was it? Yeah, it was here. It was at Staples Center. I think even Oscar De La Hoya, everybody was all excited. It's a big pay-per-view. Pay-per-view happened in California, Southern California. Staples right in front of Oscar's statue there. So, again, it's only fair that Oscar was in there. But it happened. It was a lot of fun. It was an ugly fight. It was a fight that we expected out of Porter. But the twist to it was that it was a fight that we did not expect from Spence. At least not me. I expected Spence to use all his advantages. I expected Spence to use his jab. I expected Spence to use the distance. That's not what he did. And that's a good thing. He went in there, fought the ugly fight himself. He fought the fight that Porter wanted, and he still figured a way to beat Porter, especially after he did drop Porter over the net. I believe it was a left hook. It's been a while. But, again, nonetheless, he ended up beating Porter at his own game. He became a unified welterweight champion, which I know it's a very difficult thing to do nowadays. But maybe not necessarily so, because it is most of the belts are within the PBC platform. But nonetheless, it got done. He's a unified champion. Good for Spence. What happens? What happens to Spence after this? I'm not sure. Well, that was before he got into his little accident, but we'll talk about that a little later. Ideally, what would have happened is him wait for Manny Pacquiao. I know Manny Pacquiao is not a guy that is going to be scared of Spence, but that would have been a hell of a fight, or at least a hell of a way to you pass the torch, because I think Spence is one of the best, if not the best, welterweight fighter, than Crawford. So it would have been a good fight to see. But let's talk about Spence a bit more, because Spence did fly out of a Ferrari. And I almost feel like we're almost giving the wrong message out, especially to the kids, saying, okay, you know what, he flew out of a Ferrari, you know what? It saved him that he was intoxicated on, whatever he was doing, whether it was weed, whether it was liquor, whatever it was. It helped that he was drunk. It helped that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So it kind of sent the wrong message to the kids. Hopefully, they don't pay a lot of attention, but these are the kids that are looking at them in the gym. So, and you just don't know. But what trips me out is the energy that folks keep. 1 minute they find out about this fucking crash. They see the car flipping, because the surveillance video was out. And to see the fucking car flipping like 14 times, and everybody right away is like, oh my God, my prayers for Spence, my prayers for Spence. News comes out, oh, Spence is not in critical condition, but he just lost his teeth. Oh, fuck that motherfucker. That's when people start talking shit. Oh, fuck Spence, shouldn't have been drinking, should have been doing this. What happened to the prayers? What happened to all that shit? Keep the same energy. Either way, you know what? If you say from the very beginning, Spence was fucking drunk the night before, fuck him for driving. Instead of saying my prayers to him, cool, that's the way you feel, good for you. But don't say my prayers 1 minute and then say, oh man, fuck him, he was drinking as soon as you found out it was okay. So come on, man, didn't you fucking pray for him? And now you're saying fuck him? Especially after after you post talking about I'm a savage, no broken bones, everybody all of a sudden, fuck you, I pray for you. No, man, keep that same energy. Say fuck you before, if that's how you felt, then say fuck you now. Sorry, guys, I had to drink my beer. But yeah, man, that's what happened there, man. It really sucks that the kid is hurt. You don't want to see that, especially to such a young talent. But I think in the meanwhile, the welterweight division must move on. I think he should be allowed to fight for the belts if he wants to fight for the belts in the near future. But I also believe that those belts should be up for grabs, especially being so much talent out there. You know, you got guys like, especially taking Spence out of the equation, you got a pretty interesting welterweight division. You got Crawford, you got Mikey Garcia, you got Porter. So you got those type of guys. Again, you got even wild cards like Ugas that can put hands on folks. It's a very good time to be a welterweight minus Spence, especially if Spence is going to be out for a minute. So let's see how that happens. I mean, think about a fight. Porter versus Crawford for some sort of a belt. Again, whenever Spence is back, he could fight for the belts as soon as he wants to fight for them. But for now, they should keep being rotated. I even like Spence versus Mikey Garcia, to be completely honest with you. Not Spence, I'm sorry, Porter versus Mikey Garcia. There's Danny Garcia. There's so many. There's fights to be made at the welterweight division that are very, very interesting. Especially when you have young guns like Virgil Ortiz, just knocking on these guys' door now. Especially as what I think is going to eventually happen is if Spence comes out okay, he's going to end up being a junior middleweight at that point. But let's leave that fight aside. The fight was great. It was a pay-per-view fight. I don't know what PBC is doing, if they're going pro pay-per-view for most of their fights, or are they going to do the free-for-all like they used to do? I'm not sure. I try to keep up with PBC, but sometimes it's just too difficult. GGG arguably beat Deverenchenko. Arguably. Was it a fun fight? Fuck yeah. Was it a fight of the year candidate? Maybe not top 2, but maybe top 10. Yes. A very fun fight to watch. I really enjoyed it. Did I have Deverenchenko winning? Yes. Was it by a lot? No. It was a very close fight. So if you tell me, Golovkin won, cool. I'm not going to argue with you. If you tell me Deverenchenko won, cool. I'm not going to argue with you. It wasn't a landslide either way. It was a good fight. I got entertained. My thing is, what happens in this fight? What happens with this fight? What happens with the outcomes of this fight? If we all remember correctly, Golovkin had a lot of things to say after the first fight with Canelo, where the fight ended up being a draw. He had a lot to say. I get it. He thought he won. A lot of people thought Deverenchenko won. Deverenchenko thinks Deverenchenko won. What happens now? Do we keep that same energy? Do we do what I think it's right and give Deverenchenko a chance to redeem himself, to beat Golovkin? Or was it a fluke? Was Golovkin really sick? Because I heard the sick story before. I heard it versus Rosado when he wasn't able to take out Rosado the way he wanted to. Is it the same energy, or are we just going to pretend that shit didn't happen? So, I don't know. It's a little interesting to me. I personally would love to see that rematch. I would like to see if Golovkin was really that sick, what kind of in shape, in perfect non-flu condition Golovkin could do to a guy like Deverenchenko. Or I would like to see if Deverenchenko could kind of finish off Golovkin the way he almost did to the body. I love that fight. Either way, I'm all for it. I'm excited. And I would love the rematch. But speaking of Golovkin a little more, not I think it was about 2 weeks ago, Max Kellerman did kind of revisited Golovkin's career. He wanted to talk about what he saw, what we thought we would get from Golovkin, and almost asked and questioned if he really was the boogeyman that people thought he was. And it made me doubt him, because I mean, seeing Golovkin come up, it was just a thing of beauty. It was scary. He was just running over guys. I'm not sure if just if they were mind beaten before they got into the ring, or what actually happened, but Golovkin was the fucking man at 160 pounds. Now here came Canelo, made things a little interesting. Was actually not only Canelo but Jacobs, but they were actually able to bang with him and not and just made him look like a fighter, like a normal fighter. I think that's what Jacobs and Canelo did. Not saying that they won. I'm saying that he made they fought the boogeyman out of him. And now Golovkin looks like a normal fighter. Now, is it a level of opposition? Was he never that good? Or is he just getting a little older for us? Or his legs not the same? Is the change in trainer affecting him? I don't know. Again, I don't know. But it doesn't... It kind of makes you think of Canelo's legacy as well. Because, again, the people that are talking the most shit about Golovkin are still, Canelo fans. And I think it's only fair to address their guy as well, because if we're gonna throw shade, let's do it all across the board. So shouldn't we revisit Canelo's career, or the top guys that Canelo has faced? And that's a question that I did pose on Twitter. I said, what was or how many? Well, no, it was more like, who was the best fighter in his prime that Canelo convincingly beat? That was my question. Again, who was the prime fighter that Canelo convincingly beat, that you didn't say, there was no question mark at the end. You just said, yeah, he fucked him up. He won him. He beat him. He knocked him down. Who was it? A lot of people came and said it was Jacobs. Jacobs, the guy beat by Golovkin. Jacobs, the guy that, in my opinion, lost to Deverenchenko. Jacobs, that got pirogued. That Jacobs. That's the guy that people are saying is the prime fighter. That's the guy that they're saying. Is it Golovkin? No, because there's an argument there for both fights. The first fight, arguably, Canelo lost. Second fight, I thought Canelo won, but there's a good argument that he did lose versus Golovkin. Well, that's another prime fighter that he fought versus. He didn't necessarily beat, quote unquote. Is it Austin Trout? Because Austin Trout was a young stud when Canelo fought him. But there's an argument to be made the other way. There's an argument to say, you know what? No, Trout did beat Canelo. So it wasn't a convincingly won fight by Canelo, in my opinion. The best fighter, in my opinion, that Canelo has convincingly beat is beefy Liam Smith. Again, that's not saying that it's a bad thing, but that's who he convincingly beat. Yes, he beat Jacobs. And no, it's not Cotto. Cotto is a great Hall of Famer. But by the time he faced Canelo was a big 160 pounder, trying to make 155 or something, and Cotto was a guy that had his best rounds at 140 pounds. So no, that wasn't him. I think, in my opinion, the guy like Cotto peaked at 140 pounds. He fought at 147 for the later part of his career. Yeah, he fought as high as 160, but it was, let's be honest, those are just gimme fights. So no, it was not Cotto. I think it was Liam Smith. Nothing wrong with that, but let's revisit it. Let's do this right. Let's be fair all across the board. But that's my take, at least, on Canelo. Liam Smith. The good thing about Canelo, he has so much more to give. look, man, he's taking out a monster at 175, and that's not an easy fight in my opinion. I think I commend Canelo for taking a fight like that. I don't think it's a fight that I don't think it's a fight that he could win. But it's a fight. It takes a lot of balls to take a fighter like that. So kudos to Canelo on taking that fight. But let's switch it up again, because let's keep talking about the fights that we missed, because the other one that I missed was actually this weekend. We didn't get to talk about it, but it's better BF versus the Now, fight that a lot of people were anticipating. A fight that people said was going to be great. It's going to be a fight of the year. It's going to be a war. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It wasn't a fight of the year type of fight, but it was a good fight. But if you talk to MAGA Twitter about it, it was supposed to be the best fight that we could possibly see at 175. And yes, it's the top guys at 175, no doubt. But it was a good fight. It was an okay fight. It was nothing to be nothing to go crazy about. As soon as Better BF was able to beat up, just because he was just beating the Nell's arms down. He started, lowering him, and then he was able to finish him off. But again, is he a scary motherfucker? Better BF? Absolutely. I think he is the fucking boogeyman at 175 pounds. Can he be beat? Sure, absolutely. Will he be beat? I don't know. I don't know if anytime soon. But he's definitely a hell of a fighter and a guy that I want to continue to watch. Other than that, what else happened? I mean, look, man, there's all these deaths around boxing that's kind of creepy. That's the one thing I try to stay away from. I don't need to talk about it. I don't want to be I don't want to be that voice of reason that says, oh, you should do this. The same day weigh-ins and none of that shit. That's not my expertise. That's not. I don't think I could speak on that fact. Because I think if even if they do better same day weigh-ins, the fighters are still gonna fucking try to kill themselves to make weight, and they're gonna have even less time to rehydrate. So I personally don't like that shit. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, this week I think we even missed out on talking about Red Boxing a couple of weeks ago. Actually, 2 weekends ago. Red Boxing, which is a local promoter, it's like TJ Fights in Southern California. You make fights, and this with Red Boxing, Red Promotion Boxing, whatever they say. Filipino guy comes across very nice, like, oh yes, this is for the people. I'm going to do this fight. Very nice guy. At least on paper, he seems nice. But it's a guy that works with the local kids that are coming out, local 4-round kids, maybe 6-round kids at tops. But he works with fighters that the other bigger promoters do not want. That the top ranks, the Golden Boys, the Matchroom now, that they're involved, that they don't want, but somehow could sell tickets. They're the B side, but the B side fighters that could actually sell tickets. So they're able to sell their 20, 40, 60 tickets to be able to fund this little shit that Red Boxing and them are trying to do. So by these 4-round fighters that they have, again, they're able to afford, like, let's say, to bring in another fighter, and that's exactly what Red Boxing did a couple of weeks ago. So not only, it's like a mafia, I guess you could say, with Red Boxing, because not only are they supposedly promoting fighters, but at the same time, they own a sanctioning body as far as how credible or how accredited, I guess you could say, they are. I have no idea. I just know that they like giving belts to fighters that are like 2-0 or 3-1 or shit like that. So they got this kid, I think it's from, at least Floyd Mayweather Sr. trains him, a little chubby kid, supposedly a heavyweight champ. He's rocking his GBO belt, everywhere. Sort of like, what was that kid? Kid from up north used to do, what was his name? Whatever his name is from up north. A kid with the big eyebrows. And his NWA belt that he used to always rock. But they gave this guy a belt. I think he's like 6-0, 5-0, or something like that. But they brought him a taxi driver, a legit taxi driver, because you're not gonna find a heavyweight in Mexico. I'm sorry, you're not gonna find a legitimate guy in Mexico, a guy that takes heavyweight boxing serious in Mexico. There's maybe a handful of us, a handful of Mexicans that actually are in shape. Not me by any stretch of the imagination, as you guys know. But they brought in this Mexican guy, fight this heavyweight, whooped his ass. Again, I don't even know what the guy's name is, but he whooped his ass, and the crowd started booing him. They started cheering for the little chubby Mexican guy, but the diva that Red Boxing created, got mad, started flipping off the fans, and the fans didn't like the fact that as soon as they read the cards, which it almost felt like that was going to happen, the Mexican kid got robbed. So when the Mexican kid got robbed, these guys started, the crowd went fucking raw. They started getting pissed. The corners fucking flipping off the fans and whatnot. And so the fans started throwing beer. Shit got escalated. This fighter, again, a professional heavyweight fighter, jumps out of the ring and goes and fights the crowd. He had his entourage, little thugs that he brought with him. And those guys started rushing the crowd. I saw one guy, and you guys know him. His name is Rodrigo. We call him Ruckus. He was trying to hold some of the crowd back. What happened to him? When he turned his head around, boom! Boy got clocked in the head. Now, is that fair to that Ruckus? I don't think so. Is that okay? Where was security? Who was holding these guys back from jumping out of the ring, going all the way to the back of the venue, I guess you could say? Sorry. And fighting all these people. And I feel really bad for Ruckus, man, because I saw the memes, whatever, but it's just the fact that he's a fan, he's media, I guess you could say. He's there to watch a fight and tell a story, not be the story. And the fact that I see Ruckus, getting knocked down by these guys or getting sucker punched when he's not looking and getting dropped, it's in my opinion, it's not fair to the guy. Why? Because he's trying to not defend, but maybe just do a little crowd control. He took it upon himself to do it. That's kind of fucked up. Where's the security in these type of events? Why would anybody want to take their fighters to fight at a place like this? It's not worth it. I think these fighters need to understand that there's other promoters that could help them out. There's other promoters that could, that are more than willing, and they need to stop getting virtually raped by a guy like Red Boxing and friends. I really hope they learned their lesson. They learned that those tickets that they are fucking busting their ass off putting on Instagram day in, day out are only serving not to pay them because they know they don't get paid shit, but they're serving to pay those other fucking fighters that they're bringing from out of state to promote for their GBO belt. And for what? To create a riot, to hurt that grandma that was in the front row, to make a kid cry because he's seeing his dad get beat up, or see some fucking half-naked guy just jump out of the fucking ring. That's some scary shit, man. That's some scary shit. Would I ever want to go to Red Boxing? Fuck no. I wouldn't go if they fucking paid me. Last time I went, I got my fucking Cortez all dirty, and I said, I'll never fucking go to that fucking shithole again. But that's fucking that. I think that was just a brief, quick brief story about what's been happening the last month, and I feel like it was my obligation to talk to you guys about it, get a little off my chest, and again, talk to you guys because I missed you guys. All right, guys, let's talk about upcoming fights this week. We got two big cards. One from Reno, Nevada. Fuck, what happens in Reno? The only guy in Reno that I know, his name is Cosman, and I believe he might be a mass shooter. So, yeah, that's in Reno. But Reno, we got it's an actual title fight for the vacant WBO featherweight title. That, if I'm not mistaken, that is the same belt that Oscar Valdez left when he decided to move up in weight. But yes, Reno, Nevada on ESPN Plus, Shakur Stevenson fights Joel Gonzalez in a 12th round WBO featherweight title. Now, this is going to be fun. This, I could almost recommend it. It's look. There's two guys. One has Olympic pedigree, legit guy. That's Shakur Stevenson. The other is a rugged fighter from LA. Again, might not be the fastest, might not be the strongest, but shit, does this kid have heart? This fight could go either way. Either Stevenson just peppers him, plays it safe, and just beats him in a 12-round decision, or Joet actually catches him. Joe actually catches this kid coming and is able to stop him. I don't. Again, I like Joet. I like his team. I like his management. I don't see Joet doing the later part. I think Shakur's gonna, box his ass off and maybe even stop him. I know there's some bad blood where somebody dated somebody's sister, and that's gonna be even fucking worse. How the fuck is the Thanksgiving table gonna be? How the fuck is the tamaliza and Christmas and New Year's Day gonna be? Yeah, it's gonna be kind of awkward when your brother-in-law fucked you up. It's kind of weird. It's gonna be fucking weird. So, Joet, you better put hands on this boy, because not only is he able to take your sister, but he's gonna be able to take your undefeated record, bro. So, man, I'm excited for this fight. But also from London on the 26th, same day, on the Zone we got another title fight. This time is Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor for the WBA and IBF Junior Welterweight Unification fight. And it's actually the finals of the World Boxing Super Series. Look, man, this is what I like about these tournament type of fights. The Super 6 was a prime example. Yeah, it took forever, but fuck, you get a legitimate fighter off of it. The only thing that I think missed out on this World Boxing Super Series at 140 pounds was Jose Ramirez. But nonetheless, I think the fact that whoever wins this will end up eventually fighting Jose Ramirez, which is the unified champ as well. It's gonna be a good thing. But let's not jump to that fight. But let's talk about this. Josh Taylor, man. Josh Taylor's a beast, man. If there's one guy that could beat Prograis, it's gonna be him. Will he beat him? I don't know. Prograis just seems to be in control of every single moment of every single round. I don't think I ever saw this kid lose a round. And I think that we shouldn't be focused on who's going to win or who's going to lose. It's the type of fight that these guys could give us. I think this fight might be a little too much for Josh Taylor, and he's going to take a little life out of him. But nonetheless, it's going to be a great, grueling fight. I think it's going to be a good, nasty, very skilled but good fight where Prograis ends up beating Taylor in the later rounds. So, again, I'm looking forward to it. I was looking forward to doing the show for you guys. And I'm looking forward to doing this on a weekly basis and making sure that we keep informed and we keep this podcast going. So again, guys, if you guys have not subscribed, please subscribe on the on iTunes. Just go to your podcast little box and subscribe there. Leave a comment if you like. On YouTube, I'm there as well. Again, I know it's not a lot of movement on YouTube, but whatnot. But please subscribe on YouTube at MrBoxingguru as well. Spreaker.com, we're there as well. And on Spotify, if you guys don't have an iPhone, Spotify, I'm there as well. And wherever podcasts are listened to, I'm pretty sure I'm there. Guys, thank you guys so much for lending me 30 minutes of your time. See you guys next week, and I promise you, more shows to come. Alright, guys, this has been the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. Thank you and enjoy.
Dicen que lo fusilaron, otros que se fue muy lejos.